opinions stated in this podcast do not reflect the opinions of the Alestle or SIUE as a whole. All right, welcome back to another episode of Alestle After Hours. We have a very special episode for you, and for those listening, it's kind of interesting because normally we wouldn't be on this week. We would have 2 weeks off before we're back, but that's not the case this time around. This semester we'll be publishing every Saturday right here on Spotify or YouTube, so be sure to check it out. And if you're coming back and you're like, what is this episode? Well, we're glad to have you. So today, this is a bit of a different style episode. I mentioned this in last week's that we're not going to be inviting on editors every single episode. Don't worry, they're not going anywhere. They're still alive and well. They just won't be on our show every week, mostly on the publication weeks. This episode will be featuring a club here on campus, and mostly these weeks we'll be doing clubs. Some other episodes we'll try to get some administrators on to talk about policies and stuff around here on SIUE. But for this week, let's go back to where we're at now, living in the moment. We have Mass Comm Club on today, including President Ciara Folkerts and also Advisor Theresa Pauli. If you're a Mass Comm student, you should know these people very well.
Hope so.
So, welcome to the studio, guys. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing well.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming in. And obviously, for those that don't know, I'm also involved in the Mass Comm Club, vice president. So you have like the whole club here. Like all of the administration is here and present. And Ciara is basically a new club, only introduced, it's only been a year, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Has it been a full year now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
We were established in January.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
We're old. We're getting there.
Yeah,
We're going
We're old.
we're going places, I guess.
The years go by faster and faster.
They really do. So yeah, this is now a year-old club, and it's done a lot, I'd say, in its first full year of being a club here at SIUE. I want to turn it over to Ciara here just to kind of tell us a little bit about the club, why it got founded in the first place, and kind of how that process went for you, because you were obviously the major player in this.
Yeah, so I know in the beginning of, or I'd say like in my junior year, I was really looking to get involved, and I know I was like, I would look around and I'm like, man, the psychology club had like their club, there's chemistry, they have a club. Why doesn't mass communications department have a club? And so it kind of it fell into my lap, and I was like, maybe I should probably start this club because it's something that I want and something that I feel like a lot of people in the department would like to see. So that's whenever I talked to Theresa about it. I was bouncing around the idea, and I remember I was like, I don't know how much involvement this would have. And then Theresa sent out an email, and my email was like flooded. I'm like, Theresa, I don't need any more. But it was an overwhelming amount of support and interest in the club. And so that's whenever I was finally ready to put a board together and to make a club. So that is how that happened. And I know for Mass Communications Club, I want it to be a lot of things. But again, we're still a baby. I'd like to say we're still a baby club compared to compared to others.
Maybe old was the wrong comment. Perhaps I was getting a bit excited for the clubs. Although I will say, and we're going to talk about it in a little bit, just the events, it's taken off pretty quickly, for its year span. But Theresa, let's go back to kind of the founding, when Ciara kind of brought this idea to you. What was your thoughts on just the mass communication department having a club, and that supports not just the department's faculty supporting it, but the club supporting students as itself?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, she came to me and I was like, oh boy, how much work is this going to be? Which is usually whenever you guys come into my office, what is this going to mean? No. But knowing Ciara's commitment and her passion for her work and in her dedication to the department and to her education in and outside of the classroom, I knew there's many right people that could do it, but I knew that she was the one stepping up. So I was really happy to see this because, as you know, I really push everybody networking and learning outside of the classroom. As much as it's important to learn inside of the classroom, we give you the foundation, hopefully, you've got to go in and try it out. It's. I'll remember when I was in school here, and I was a commuter student, which we have more students who are not commuter students anymore, but it was really hard to connect and to get that group and find those people. And when I got into Mass Comm, which wasn't until my second or third junior year, no, I'm just kidding, until my junior year, I found the Mass Comm department and media production, which was television, TVR back then, television radio. But then when I got into it, I met my people. Like, I connected, and I'm like, wow, I like these folks, and it's fun work, and I enjoy it. So that's what I think is really important, because there still are lots of people, whether you live on campus or not, or whatever, come here, go to class, go home. And we need somebody else to keep something else to do to keep them together within the department.
Yeah, I definitely feel the club forces at least some interest of involvement, whether you choose to take the opportunity or not. But Ciara, just speaking a little bit about the club and its kind of structure, it's very similar to the department. It kind of mirrors, I would say, the department itself and the way it's built. Obviously, there is a president, a vice president, a treasurer, all that usual stuff with the club, but kind of explain the uniqueness of what Mass Comm Club has done with its build.
Definitely. So, Sam, you were there for the build, too. So just definitely being able to talk about how do we want the foundations of this club to look like. And I know whenever we had this idea, Sam, of we wanted to sort of not totally emulate the department, but we wanted to be able to connect with the department itself, so then students can see something and be able to attach to it. And also, for example, our setup that we have is we have a vice president of all of the focuses that the Mass Comm department offers. And so that is the advertising and strategic media, video production, and journalism.
Media production, technically.
Media production.
Because we do audio and video.
Okay, media production.
Yeah.
My
No,
apologies.
that's okay. That's a lot.
Clearly don't even know our department.
I know. At this rate, I've been here for
Impeach
4
her.
years. Go figure. So we have that, and we also have an add-on of a VP of Public Relations, which this is kind of something that I know Sam had advocated for, where it's like, well, we aren't completely the department. This is something that students can play around with. We can take it away. We can add it. We can bring in new ideas for new positions. But it's just something to kind of bring in great ideas that are related to the field and allow people that want to join the club to be able to explore different interests and to be able to kind of collab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know that's kind of reached into some of the club's goals too, and we've achieved those goals working with the department as well as being our own entity and doing fun things that maybe a student could just pop out and hang out with. Let's talk about just kind of when you were creating the club, what was the goal that you had in mind for the near-term future of what did you want to see right away, and also when you're kind of gone, the print that the club can leave after you've left?
So I know whenever we were building the foundations, I sort of had this idea originally of just how committees worked, but we are still building up to that. I think that is the long-term future of just having committees within the VP of media production, VP of advertising and strategic media. I want those to have their own committees and just a bigger body, I think. But right now we are building up to building up those numbers. But I know those near future goals that we've had, for example, our past events that we've had, such as our career prep day, that was a huge event, and it really touched down on the ground. We are an established club, we are a great resource, and that is essentially what I wanted to establish. So then students, whenever they see it, because a lot of people go to Theresa for opportunities, they go to Corey for opportunities. I don't want it to always hinge on those two people. It's great. Professors are great for resources, but I want them to also be able to rely on the community itself. So that's what it's there for.
Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely agree. Well, before we move into some of the activities that the club has done so far, let's talk about the dynamic of the crew that you've worked with. Obviously, I'll speak on my behalf of it's been very enjoyable. We have an amazing crew with a lot of different elements of mass communication that people have a strong skill set for, whether it's journalism or media production or even advertising. And you mentioned the PR stuff. It goes so hand in hand with what we do and we also need a PR for the club itself. So it kind of served as dual purpose. And yeah, it's really neat to see it all work and gel. What's it like from your angle? And Theresa too, what's it like seeing all these students come together and actually like, hey, we have this idea, and then all of a sudden it's pen to paper, and now there's actual progress of a actual club.
From my angle, I love the dynamics of our team. You guys have definitely, like, from a president's standpoint, you guys definitely put in the time and commitment. And as a president, what I try to do is at least be understanding of everyone's time, because I know it's hard to get college students together and say, for example, whenever we were building the foundations of the club, I was like, well, let's spend about an hour and a half or so writing the Constitution. We ended up staying like an hour over or so, and it was late, and it was like 9 p.m. or so, and everyone's tired. But we were there because we wanted to be there, not because I was holding you guys there. I didn't lock the door on you guys and said we have to stay till it's finished. Everyone had great energy, and you could tell that this is something that we want to have. So seeing that commitment through everybody's standpoint, it was amazing to see.
Theresa, how about you for like watching the team work together, the dynamic of the students coming together and actually making a club happen? Like they come to you with this idea, and all of a sudden, like Ciara said, now they're staying hours after late into the night writing a constitution and stuff.
I was so impressed because, I knew Ciara was really passionate about this and wanting to get this done, but it was how many people were really going to step up, and how the dynamic, how much is it going to go? And I know something that Ciara is concerned about is the legacy. That is what happens after she leaves, after she graduates. I like to, it moves forward. Are there going to be enough people to carry that on? And I think, I'm really hopeful. She's done a great job. You all have done a great job of electing folks to move into your roles after you graduate and kind of train them up kind of thing like this. And they're, as we see, it's interesting because I always worked in the industry. So yeah, we would have people move, in and out. You'd work with somebody for a couple of years and they'd leave, or you'd have somebody there forever and whatever. But here, every couple, every year we get new students and other students graduate. And so, but there's always, I'm so impressed with the people that are coming through our department. There's always folks that will rise to the top. So I'm hoping that we do have that person and those people, because it's more than one person. And that being said, it is really cool to see the events that you guys have put together, and with very little help from anybody else, any of the faculty or staff. The career prep day was amazing. It was like, oh, how many people were really going to come? Oh, we had so many people, and a lot of folks got a lot out of it. But yeah, and even the volleyball thing I thought was great. Right? What was the actual event?
It was volleyball.
That was it.
Yeah.
No fancy name. Okay.
Yeah.
But to see the turnout and people connecting, and you never know who what people are gonna do in the future, where they're gonna be, whether or not they rise to the top of to be a boss that could hire you, or hey, I know of a job opening, just to connect like that, just to network. So it really, really makes me happy to see what they're doing, and just I'm just so impressed with the way it's been working.
Yeah, speaking of some of those events, I'll mention just a few. You mentioned we had a volleyball night, a movie night, and some of those are like the more fun, kind of just chill out with your peers, like you mentioned, talk, network. And then you bring up the resume night, and I thought that to me was a highlight so far. Maybe it was because we dumped so much heart and effort into it. Probably a big piece of that. However, you mentioned the students that showed up, and I think that's what the club is about, is getting people involved. Ciara, talk about, just kind of give a rundown of what this event is, the resume night, as well as like the effect it had on you seeing the turnout that we did.
So like you said, Sam, you and I, we worked together with Theresa and the department chair, Dr. Mishra, which they've been an incredibly great help in this. I know that we spent hours into preparation, but essentially what we planned it out to be was we brought in internal organizations from SIUE that were related to the mass comm field, or at least relatively close to it. And just they got to speak about their organization, what they do for SIUE, and what opportunities students can take to get more involved in SIUE, and also just another line on your resume for experience, for your own experience. And so we would have speakers. We also had people come in that were professionals from the field that actually look at resumes, come in and look over students' resumes and just be able to kind of critique them. We had professors from the department look at people's resumes, and it was just great to have that insider look. So we also had resume check. We also had professional headshots, which our team was able to come up with. We were able to have Marley and Gabrielle help out a lot with just headshots and being able to have something that students can take home and utilize.
Yeah, speaking of that headshot, by the way, that is now my LinkedIn profile.
It turned out, okay, I'm gonna have to look it up.
So even though I don't know if I made it my LinkedIn. I made it some like business portfolio profiles, but yeah, even the board can take advantage of our events. So no, it was really a spectacular night, and I know you and I, and there's more discussions about this to be done, but it was kind of a step to get more career preparation for mass comm students in the future. I know you and I have had a lot of discussions with the chair about that, and maybe a future event coming along with that too. So it could be exciting. And
I would hope it to be like an annual, at least annual or semi-annual.
Yeah, that
every semester. I know it's a lot of work, but the thing too, if I can add, was always students come to Tom Atwood a lot to have their resumes reviewed because he likes to do it. He says that it's relaxing to him. I still don't understand that, but
it's therapeutic.
But
he just likes tearing people apart.
Yeah, that's what he likes to knock people down. No, he's very good about it and gives great advice. And I've learned so much from him because I would start sending students to him, and then I thought, well, wait, so through watching him and what he does anyway, all that process, I had a student come in the other day and their resume, it needed some help. And I said, did you go to the career prep day? And they said, no. And I was like, okay, next time we have one, do that, go to it because there's a lot that you could take away from it. But what was so nice was be able to say, did you take advantage of something that we do have here? Mm-hmm. And we didn't have that before. And the Mass Comm Club has definitely filled a gap there.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, and I think it's especially in the College of Arts and Sciences, like there's just so many departments that don't get the spotlight that they really deserve. At least from internally, where the departments are so restricted with the resources they have. So if the students can come together and make their own project, it does help out a lot, and it relieves the pressure on the faculty where they're willing to contribute, from what we've experienced with this club. So yeah, it's been really good, but there's been some other events too. I do want to mention the news station tour. Ciara, I know you were heavily involved in, or you basically ran the event. I don't know why I said heavily involved. You were there. You did it all. Talk about that, and then we have some other, we had some other fun things. We went from, actually, I'll start with this before I let you explain that. The popcorn. I want to talk about, this was our first event, was putting together popcorn, and I swear, this was the most, Ciara's face, you can't see it. It was just so torturous to be, like, we made these bags of popcorn to sell. It was so stressful. And then we did a on par job of selling them, and it was just like the first event, which is always rough. Yeah, you can't see it. We'll have to get a picture, like
oh my god,
the stress that's on Ciara's face. But
oh yeah,
yeah, you don't want to talk about that, do you?
It was so traumatizing. I think at the end of the day, I was like, because Zach was being like an auctioneer, like one popcorn bag for this many dollars. Who wants it? And it's like, man, I never knew Zach had that kind of talent, and I just let him do his thing. And
we were all in a delirious state at that point. Like it was just so bad.
I give you guys credit for doing that. right off the bat.
well,
'Cause that was last October.
Yeah.
Because I was out of town. I could not buy any popcorn.
You were the problem.
It does. Yeah. I would have bought a lot. I like popcorn. But it reminds me of a quote that I pulled today from Maya Angelou.
Okay.
All right. Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. So no more popcorn sales, right?
Yeah, no.
Too much
But
work.
you know
Not
what?
enough.
It led from that one event to this news station tour. And just, I mean, tell us about it, because it's actually insane how we get to do things like this.
Yeah, so definitely the popcorn was definitely our first event ever. And it's like, because as a club, you're so excited to want to get stuff running up. You're like, okay, we have a club, we have a bank account, let's do something. And it's like, we can't do anything without money. So I was like, okay, well, let's try and think of something cheap and easy, and we can easily make this. It was getting to be Mardi Gras, so I'm like, okay, let's do something. I always reference that time whenever it does come to thinking of funding ideas. I'm like, we can't do another popcorn event.
Yes, yeah, that's
Okay, that was in the spring, wasn't it? Okay, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was out of town, though, yeah.
But then it leads into like these
Yes.
news station tours.
And then that was like the beginning, and then it developed all the way into like a news station tour, because I know whenever I was talking with the club, I was like, hey, I'm currently interning at KMOV. I do want to take advantage of that close connection. Let's do a tour. I know that's something we've always teased the idea of, but let's actually do it. So whenever it came to the news station tour, I collaborated with my employer, which Meredith Blake. She's amazing at just making sure that whatever idea I had in mind, it is executed and organized well. And so she was offering me ideas of tours before. She's just like, well, what do you want to see? A lot of the liberty was within, like, what does the club want to see? And I really liked that, because it wasn't restricted to, well, we have a procedure of how we do tours. Mm-hmm. It was very giving. She was like, so we were able, whenever we got there, we were able to sit in on a little bit for their lifestyle show. And then we were able to get a tour of the whole entire station. We got to see the director booth, and the directors were able to talk to us after, like, during commercial breaks. So that was really interesting. And then they took us into the actual studio where I'm trying to think of the anchor's name. I feel so bad. Claire Kellett. Yeah, Claire Kellett and Mo. I can't remember his last name. But Mo, they came in and they talked with us, and they were just telling us about their experience about whenever they were first getting into journalism. And a lot of the students there, whenever we were touring, they're like, who's interested in journalism? And a few people raised their hands. A lot of people were like, well, I'm just here because I want to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. And so they were very catering to all interests, all levels of interest. And I know this one student, Ciara, she was like, well, I'm interested in maybe weather. So they had Matt Chambers come in and talk to her. So it was very catering. It was very nice. They were extremely welcoming, and it was just a nice environment to be around. And then afterwards, whenever we were about to leave, one of the SIUE alumni, Bill
McCormick.
Yes, Bill McCormick. He came down and spoke with us, and he was able to kind of resonate with us because he's an alumni, and also gave us great advice of what we should do in a career path.
Yeah, it was really. I was bummed I didn't get to go to that. By the way, I was so sad, but
I was really impressed with how much they put into that, because I've worked in news for 30 years, and it's hard to get that time and hard to get those folks. Bill is their director of technology. We worked together for years too, but you were speaking of Maurice Drummond when you said Mo. Yeah. But anyway, I was really, really impressed that they put that much energy and effort into it. So I know you guys got a lot out of it.
Yeah. And that's just one of, again, many planned or thought of ideas that could be coming up too. So keep an eye out for Mass Comm Club events. Now, I will touch on this a little bit because I already broke news last week on the podcast. I guess I better break news again this week with some excitement coming up. But we might be seeing a collaboration between the Mass Comm Club and our lovely newspaper, the Alestle, with a potential student broadcasting service. Now, I won't go too much into detail because it's still kind of in the works. But Ciara, can you kind of allude to your excitement with seeing the club maybe get involved with the student newspaper?
Definitely. So I have worked at the Alestle before, and I know that this has kind of always been an idea that's been on the back burner, but never truly something that's been put it, like, truly had focus on. So I know just that excitement to be able to have a project sort of in the works is something that we're looking forward to.
Yeah, is that how, are we teasing it that much?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, can I say more?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's excellent. I love the fact that the students want to do this, and I love the fact that it's running through Mass Comm Club. And there I go again. I got to stop talking with my hands. But anyway, it's going to give everybody, it's what we miss so much in our classes is constant repetition. And it's how you learn, especially with the tech stuff and writing and doing things in front of the camera. It's just going to be all those and more. So I hope as many people as possible will please take advantage of it when we roll it all the way out.
Yeah,
right?
so if you're tuning in and you haven't signed up, sign up because
There's
they need you.
An email went out, right?
And the Alestle needs you too. It is a really unique service to the club, to the student body, to the department, and also to the student newspaper. It's an amazing collaboration. And again, it's still being ironed out, so we will kind of leave some of the details out. But if you're interested in student broadcasting, please contact Ciara Folkerts or Chloe Wolf, the lifestyles editor at the Alestle. You can also reach out to Theresa, Pauli, who's sitting here too.
Yeah, please, by all means.
We'll get you to the right spot.
And the great thing is that with our the big investment that was made into our facilities, into our control room and such, we can do this now. We didn't have a reliable system before that I would have said it would have been too uncertain that everything was working on a weekly, monthly, daily, hourly basis. So this is just a really great way to use the investment the university made in our department even more.
All right, so for the last part of our show, we've had an outstanding tradition to do our obsession now of what we used to call, when we first started here, Obsession of the Week. And then we went on this wonky schedule for a year or two. I don't know how long it's been. And it was Obsession of a while. I don't know. Now we're back to Obsession of the Week because we're publishing weekly, which is so exciting. But basically, I'll explain it for you both.
Okay, you guys didn't tell me about this.
I know. So what it means is like just something that you've been obsessed with over the last week. For example, mine is a TV show that's been out. It's called The Fallout Show. It's based on a video game series Fallout. And the second to last episode released on Tuesday. There's one episode left, and I'm chomping at the bit. It'll probably be my obsession next week, honestly, because it's so good. But that's like, it could be something small, it could be something big, but something that you've been obsessed with over the course of the last week.
If we're talking like fun stuff.
Yeah, fun stuff.
Fun stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Not news stuff.
No,
Yeah.
put work to sleep for like
Okay.
2 minutes,
All
Theresa.
right. Well, then no, actually, I just finished a series on, and I should say that there's something else. It's all not about what we consume, content, but I should say working out or something. But maybe next time you have me on.
Yeah.
I've actually watched the whole series called Somebody Somewhere.
Okay.
It's really good. I thought it was really good. It's kind of, I guess you could probably say it's kind of a chick flick. That just nobody gets beat up or murdered or anything like that in it, which is good. Or no, aliens or anything like that in it. It's just a really heartwarming story of folks in Manhattan, Kansas, and it's just kind of about life. And I had heard about it with an interview on Fresh Air, on NPR with Terry Gross, and they had one of the actors on, and it just intrigued me. So I thought, I want to watch this, because people tell me, oh, watch this, watch that, and I always forget what it is, and I sit there and think, I want to watch something. Anyway, I finished the last episode over the weekend, I think on Snow Day, and I was very sad that it's over because it was so good.
Yeah, I know. That's how I'm like excited for this last episode of my show, but I have that same fear. It's going to be sad.
Yeah, and I think mine's done. I don't think they'll come back with. Maybe they will, but I think it's kind of done.
Yeah. Ciara, how about you? What's been your obsession of the last week?
So I know I recently thrifted like this Kindle, Kindle like paper,
okay,
like book or whatever, and so I've been like reading off of that, and so right now I'm reading The Handmaid's Tale.
Okay.
I know it's like a series now or so, and I'm kind of reading the book, and maybe this is just me, but from the book, there's not too much plot development. From what I'm like 3/4 of the way done, and I don't know how that's a series based off the book. It's a lot of internal dialogue. So I don't know how they portray it in the series, but I'm actually excited to try and watch the series to see what that looks like.
I've never watched it. I know a lot of people that have.
I know.
It seems really heavy that I don't. I mean, like not that I couldn't, but
it's
not the kind of escape that I want.
Yeah.
Necessarily. I don't know. You tell me. Get back to me.
I'm kind of late to the trend because I know it like blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Like
it's kind of died down since then. Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I like to I like trends after they became trendy, you know?
Me too. I'm the same way. No, I really am. Which is really bad for our field, but you know. But oh well. So all right. Well, that I think is everything we have to cover. So thank you for tuning in to this first week back of weekly episodes. We're so excited to have you here. Don't forget that Alestletics will also be posted. So if you haven't listened to that, maybe if you got like 20 extra minutes, spare it and tune in to SIUE Sports Update. I know Audrey and I have a lot to cover over there. If not, you can find us on Spotify or YouTube next weekend. Yay, it's so exciting. I can't get over it. I'm probably going to mention it like 30 more times within the semester. So we'll be looking forward to seeing you there soon. And again, next week on Saturday. Adios for now.